Coming up soon, a very special night in the theater on television. The Antoinette Perry Awards for the 35th year will be presented, and that's Sunday night, June the 7th, here on 1011 Strong. Look who is here with us today. A winner of two herself, Colleen Dewhurst. What an honor. I have seen you in so many productions, I'm happy to say, even out in Lincoln, Nebraska. I saw you in Eugene O'Neill's One for the Misbegotten.
Oh, yes.
Saw you in Tribute, of course, but the movies, we do get movies in Lincoln, Nebraska.
What's happened to Lincoln?
And Albies, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf?
Oh.
Now, you always seem to play a very strong, powerful, dominating female. Is it your voice, you think, that makes you go in that route? The quality of your voice?
No, I think, although from the beginning, when I came to New York when I was a young girl, I was never going to be an ingenue. I mean, not from the time I was 12. First, because of my height.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'8", and second of all, because the deepness of my voice canceled me out of Juliet and various roles like that. Yes, I somehow just didn't fall into that role at all. And I was very fortunate that there were men like O'Neill and Albee writing, because they wrote women that I loved and that I felt a response to. And I think I just came along at the right time. A lot of it is luck.
Long at the right time, but you had a lot of years put in before the right time came.
Oh, yes. There were a lot of what I call peanut butter on saltine years.
Yes. Tell us about the job you had in the figure salon. Didn't you work at
Yes, I worked at, in fact, I was laughing because this play that I'm doing now down at the Hudson Guild is on West 26th, and I was pointing out to someone that West 24th, I'd lived there for 2 or 3 years and worked across the street in London Terrace where they had the McLeavy's reducing salon, where I would put the ladies through their paces in their exercises and everything, and then they would leave, and I would pass them in the drugstores all having their hot fudges, and they'd come back next week and complain about how they weren't losing any weight. But it was a good job, as the jobs went all part-time. It's known as 10 years of part-time work.
But you were willing to do that. You were willing to do that to stay here and be on the stage.
Yes, just as long as you could eat. I mean, I never thought of leaving. I always thought that finally I would get a break. It just never entered my mind to leave the theater.
You have said that the only area in your life where you have complete discipline is the theater. Is that because you can control a play in terms of the script is already done, the parameters are set with the proscenium arch, the show's going to go on at 8 o'clock, but real life doesn't work that way?
No, that's not the kind of discipline I meant.
What kind do you mean?
I meant that it's, I mean, if I have to go in with one shoe on or something, I'm still on time. And I still know that that work must be done, the homework must be done, the work must be done. You can't be ill. You can't call up because you just don't feel like it and say, listen, tell them I'm sick, I won't be in. And it's an area of responsibility that I feel very responsible to, and it's very good for me because in other areas I just kind of float around, you know, like a tumbleweed that's being blown along by the wind.
Well, like in real life, would you be late then, possibly for an appointment?
Yes.
But if you can discipline yourself on the stage, why can't you? Maybe you don't think it's that important to do it in real life.
That I think is probably my problem. I don't really find it too important.
Well, now, when you say, you know, you can't be sick in the theater, we know that Liz Taylor got sick. And some of us would like to say, doesn't she know the show must go on?
Yes, but of course we're talking about really ill with Liz, with Miss Taylor. I mean, that's something that this woman, I have a very good friend in that show, Maureen Stapleton, who through Florida and Washington and all while we were talking had said that she has been the greatest trooper that she has ever traveled with and has kept around her, and it's very difficult for a star of that stature to be able to keep around her a very happy cast. You don't have many casts that enter New York, all of them completely happy and delighted with each other. And everybody in that cast adores her, and she literally has tried to crawl onto that stage. And that's an entirely different situation than what I'm speaking of.
Harold Clurman said that it was self-indulgent to cry. Do you feel that way?
On stage?
On stage.
Yes, because to cry on stage is not to permit you to cry. Because
What do you
in
mean,
life,
me, as the audience?
yes, in life it's what you mask. I mean, if a friend is trying to tell you something about themselves and they are having trouble telling you, and you begin to avert your eyes because you realize they're at a breaking point, you avert your eyes in order to let them get through. And what makes you cry is their trying not to go under. But if you have someone that every time you turn around is a sobbing mass on the floor, you kind of go, I guess they'll get over it.
But you, as an actress, if you're so involved in the role that you're playing, that you feel it to that point where you can bring yourself to tears, that therefore you can transmit and translate that to the audience to make them cry. Isn't that effective?
Well, there are actors who can cry like that on stage. And I think that's great. It used to worry me for years because it was very difficult for me to cry. There are different things that make you cry. Rage makes me cry. And, but the important thing, the reality, the true reality of life is what you try to cover. And the true greatness of the theater is the slipping of the mask. Just as you and I are speaking now, we are both masked. You have the mask of the interviewer, and I have the mask of the interviewee. And so we are consequently, if we were to sit longer, I would see your mask slip at some point, and you would see mine slip, and we would both see something a little more about each other, and that's what a good play is about, until finally that mask is completely off, and you are stripped. But in order to live day to day, we must be masked. We couldn't just be a walking human being without a skin.
It hurt so
That's
much.
right.
And now you're directing. The show in New York is Ned and Jack. It just recently opened. And do you like the controlling role of the director?
It's all right. It's the theater is wonderful because the theater is a completely cooperative project. One angle of that go off, the whole thing can fall. One actor, director, producer, stage manager. The great thing about acting and about being in the theater is that everybody learns to do for themselves. They are not given a false sense of power, as in other areas, and they must learn to cope always. Day to day, they must learn to cope. And I think the only thing the director is a head figure. Someone said to me the other day, usually you think of it as a patriarch, and now do they, seeing as you're directing two men? I couldn't believe they were asking me that question. Seeing as you're directing two men, do they look upon you as the matriarch? I said, I've never asked either gentleman if that's the way the mummy's standing up there saying, all right, sweetheart,
Nice, you did a very nice
go over
job.
there. But it has been a wonderful experience because I've had two terrific actors and a great playwright.
Well, it's been an honor. I have enjoyed your work through the years, and please continue. I know you will. And we'll be watching her on Sunday, June the 7th, as she presents the Best Actor on Broadway award. Colleen Dewhurst, thank you very much.
Thank you. No.